The FBI will review a case involving a black Muslim teen who was found hanging from a tree in Washington state. 18-year-old Ben Keita's body was discovered January 9th in a wooded area in the city of Lake Stevens after going missing in November. His death was initially ruled as suicide. The Snohomish County Medical Examiner's Office later changed the cause of death to undetermined after finding there wasn't enough information to make a ruling. Keita's family disputes his death was a suicide, and Reuters reports they are concerned police didn't do a comprehensive investigation. The FBI got involved March 2nd after the family called on the agency to review the case at a news conference 2 days earlier. The FBI says its review may lead to an investigation if one is warranted. For Newsbeat Social, I'm Rachel Latham.
Now, this young man, the trigger word that they are using is Muslim. Because at this point, you never hear of someone being killed and they are labeled as Christian in this country. You know, this is not a Christian found hanging, you know, with blonde hair and blue eyes. This is not a Christian who was, you know, dead in the apartment. This was not a Christian that was raped. So you never hear someone's religion brought into it, but that's a trigger word for you to think, you know, oh, this is one of those radical Muslims and it's best he died this young so he wouldn't grow up and kill us all. That's what that is. But he was targeted probably specifically because he was of the Muslim religion, and we all know that a lot of people, they don't like the Muslim religion because of what it says about Caucasian people. So I mean, and there is a very good chance that they didn't give a damn. They just saw that he was heavily melanated, and let's go ahead and go relive the good old days, the let's make America great again. That's what I'm going to label this, making America great again. This is what they call making America great again.
For Complex News, I'm Emily Oberg. On Tuesday, noted Ferguson activist Darren Seals was found dead inside of a burning car in Riverview, St. Louis, by police. According to reports, the cause of death was a gunshot wound, which Seals suffered before the car was set on fire. It's currently unknown what the motive of the shooting was, and as of right now, no details regarding possible suspects have been released. Seals, who was only 29 years old at the time of his death, was a self-described fighter and leader of the Black Lives Matter movement. He became a key figure in the Ferguson protests following the fatal shooting of Michael Brown in 2014, and often spoke about the injustices toward Black people on social media. Recently, Seals shared his thoughts on the whole Colin Kaepernick debacle, criticizing the NFL and authorities for not standing in support of the QB. In addition to his work as an activist, Seals also helped co-found the Hands Up United collective, which works towards the liberation of oppressed minorities. Since the news of his passing, those who knew Seals have expressed their love and condolences on social media, proving that he was a beloved member of the community. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at...
Now, with this case, everybody knows about his activism. I also saw a video where I believe it was his brother. It was a young male teen, and he was being harassed by the police. He said he was always being followed and harassed by the police. And another article stated that he was in a gang style. He was killed in a gang style. So, you know, this could go several ways. They are probably going to say, you know, a gang killed him for absolutely what? His activism. So now gang members don't like activists. Yeah, right. Bullshit. Now, for it to be gang style, that's what the police are. I do believe the police had a hand in this because they were harassing him. They were harassing his brother. It was caught on video. And when the police realized that they were being taped, that's when they backed off. But they wanted to get rid of him. There is no way they are going to let another Malcolm X, a Martin Luther King, anybody stand up and take up for their people. They are not going to allow that. So they are killing off potential activists, people, who have a voice, who have followers, who they see gaining ground. They're going to try and get rid of them immediately. And this is a hard one because I was aware of his activism, and he was just killed. And I don't really hear people talking about this young man's death. They really don't say anything about it. It was dismissed as if, trying to say he's a gang member. What, his dreads make him a gang member because he has his hat turned backwards? That makes him a gang member. The only gang that did this, the gang that actually did this, was the police, because they're the original gangsters. They killed this man to shut him up and shut him down. And nobody in the media talks about it. It was very little said about it when it first happened. But this is another potential voice that was speaking about everything that is being done. And for those who are trying to tell people to stop marching and to stop protesting, I really do think that they need to shut the fuck up, because in this country, there's really nothing that you can do. We are prisoners of war. There are a lot of remedial idiots that are out here trying to tell people, if you don't stand up and take arms and fight against this enemy does not have to even come into your neighborhood or even to the state. They could bomb the whole state off the map if they were inclined to. And Trump and the other bigger psycho than him, Pence, in office, I could see that happening. They expect us to all take our guns when these psychos have allegiances with other people, even our own people who could sneak up in our organizations and just rat us out. And there are people saying you need to take up arms, you need to do something, you need to fight. How and with what? People are saying economically, that would require black people to come together. And I don't see that happening anytime soon. There's too much hate between black people for that to happen. And we own nothing, and we don't have a lot of capital to really start anything. It can take a while for that to happen. And also, you notice that there are quite a few, not a lot, just a few, that we see in the main media of black people with money. And are they doing anything to build a community, to get people businesses and things like that? No. There are a few of them that are, but it's just now starting, and it's going slow. So activism, to me, and protest, it keeps a lot of the acts that are happening to black people, it keeps it in the media and in the forefront. It keeps it in social media, so people will know these things are happening constantly. They are increasing, and it can be shown all around the world to show what's really going on in this country. The media does not have a strong hold on how to portray America to the rest of the world. Social media is huge, and it has really gotten the word out of the actual rotten core of this country. And what they are trying to do is they want to shut down anyone who would have a voice, because if they have a voice, and now with social media, that would be very detrimental to this country, which everybody knows what this country is anyway. The word is out without a leader, but they definitely don't want a leader attached to anything to be able to speak up.
Come back.